Hello, my name is Yancey Hill, and I'll be analyzing lines 101 through 131 of Shakespeare's Romeo and Juliet. In these lines, this is where Romeo and Juliet first have their first interaction, and off the bat, you can tell a difference between these two characters and how they're characterized by Shakespeare. So the first line Romeo states is, "If I profane with my unworthiest hand this holy shrine, the gentle fine is this. My lips, two blushing pilgrims, ready stand to smooth that rough touch with a tender kiss." Now, off the bat, this sounds like sort of a cheesy line coming from Romeo. Here we can tell that he's had a lot of experience talking to females, and as we know, as it's been stated before, Romeo is 16, and we can tell that he's experienced with talking to a lot of girls. We can with this pickup line. Then Juliet follows with a good pilgrim, you do wrong your hand too much, with mannerly devotion shows in this. Um, so Juliet responds in sort of a naive way, as if she doesn't understand as if she does understand Romeo's advances, but at the same time, she she doesn't because she's not very experienced romantically. She then says, "For saints have hands that pilgrims' hands do not touch." So her saying "for saints" is very significant because saints are religious figures in the Catholic branch of Christianity. It's a saints are prominent roles, and her saying "saints" solidifies her as a naive character. This is her bringing in religion, and this is making it seem like she's a pure and innocent character, as if she's not completely understanding what Romeo is fully saying. Romeo then says, "Have not saints lips and holy palmers too?" Wait, no. Juliet then says after, "For saints have hands that pilgrims' hands do not touch, and palm to palm is holy palmer's kiss." So Juliet is saying, like, a kiss is basically palm to palm, like holding hands. That's also making her seem more naive. And Romeo comes with a have not saints lips, and holy palmers too. And this is him basically saying, but don't they have lips? Doesn't that mean we can kiss? And Juliet comes with the line saying, "I, pilgrim lips they must use in prayer." So here is where we really start to see what type of character Juliet is. On one hand, she seems to be naive or innocent, bringing in prayer and religion into Romeo's advances on her. It's making her seem like she's very religious. Um, you can see that when she says lips they must use in prayer. Romeo is referring to his lips as being able to kiss Juliet, and Juliet is saying, "We have lips to pray. I don't understand what you're saying." But on the other hand, we can see this as Juliet also flirting back to Romeo and not being as innocent. This can be her sort of pulling Romeo in and manipulating him to further their conversation by making it seem like she's innocent, or making it seem like she's an easy target for Romeo to get. And then Romeo says, "Oh dear saint," and he's calling her a saint, again flattering her. "Let lips do what hands do. They pray, grant thou, lest faith turn to despair." Romeo, when he says, "Let lips do what hands do," this goes back to what Juliet says before, where palm to palm is holy palmer's kiss, where holding hands is a holy palmer's kiss. And he's saying, "Let us do what palms do," referring to the fact that he wishes in kissing Juliet. Um, as we see later on, Romeo and Juliet do end up um, kissing and furthering their relationship, and then that's when Juliet says, "You kiss by the book." Um, when she says this can be interpreted in two different ways. One way, kissing by the book may mean that he's had a lot of experience. By the book is a phrase used saying that you go by the book, you go by the rules, basically, and that's saying that he's very experienced romantically, and so he knows like the rules of kissing and how to get a girl. But the other way you can interpret this is talking about the Bible once again. If you look, if you remember reading further up in the passage, they're mentioning a lot about saints and kissing, and her saying, "You kiss by the book," after Romeo has said, what um let us do what palmers do, or let us do what palms do, such as like holy palmers. Kissing by the book may be a reference to the Bible. And that's when the nurse enters, and the nurse says the mother craves a word with Juliet. And this is really where it gets interesting in the story, because this is where Romeo discovers who Juliet is, but Juliet doesn't yet discover who Romeo is. Romeo asks who is Juliet's mother, not knowing who it is, and this is when the nurse says it's Lady Capulet, and immediately you can see that Romeo is surprised because he is a Montague and he didn't know that he was with a Capulet. This shows how much of a brash character Romeo is, or how much he rushes into things. He really rushed into this relationship, pulling Juliet in with the pickup line, you could say it is, he first used when talking to her. And you could say Juliet also rushed into the relationship fast because they kiss as soon as they meet, but it's more so Romeo rushing in because Romeo is aware that he is at a Capulet party, but still advances on the women, not realizing that one of them could very well be the daughters of Lord and Lady Capulet, while Juliet, not knowing Romeo is a Montague, kisses him because she believes him to be someone who her parents would allow because he is at a party that is invitation only. So the nurse comes in and speaks of Lady Capulet, and this is also showing us what type of character the nurse is, because the nurse starts saying, characterizing Lady Capulet as a good lady and a wise and virtuous, and then she says, "I nursed her daughter that you talked withal, and I tell you that he that can lay hold of her shall have the chinks." So the nurse starts off by saying Lady Capulet is Juliet's mother, but we can really see that the nurse is more of a mother figure to Juliet in this small little passage, for she said she nursed Juliet, and she kind of gives Romeo a motherly warning, like, if you lay hold of her, shall whoever lays hold of her shall have the chinks. And here again, Romeo is questioning, she's a Capulet, my life is my foe's debt. And so, where Romeo is questioning, she is a Capulet, that again solidifies him being very impulsive in their relationship. These small little this small 30-line passage really holds a lot of characterization for both Romeo and Juliet, but mainly for Romeo. It shows us what type of character he is, and it also shows us how experienced he is when it comes to manipulating females. Thank you.